everyone. Today we're going to be doing a little mini sunset painting on this tiny piece of wood. Now I do a lot of paintings for my daughter. I paint her toys and I paint her little furniture for her dollhouse, and today I'm going to paint her some pictures for her dollhouse. So what you want to do when you're doing your sunset here is you want to, I'm just going to zoom out a bit because it seems like my camera is trying to focus on something else. You want to start with a nice base layer. And this is the same for, I think, any acrylic painting. It's especially important, though, if you're painting on untreated wood like I am. So you want a good base layer, and that's going to help kind of take away some of the absorption that the wood naturally has of the paint. So now it's got a base layer on it. Now we want this to be dry, so I'm just going to go like that. This is a dry one here, and I'm going to add another layer of yellow because we want to do a nice blended sky. I think today we'll add just a hint of clouds and stuff to our sky too, but we'll just do it in a nice easy way because it's such a small thing. We can't get too fussy, right? So now what I'm going to do is take red and I'm going to put it just on the tip of my brush, just on the tip. And I do have a rag here to keep cleaning my brush off. That's going to be pretty important because sometimes you just don't want too much paint on your brush. And I'm going to go just like this. I'm going to pull down, and you can see how I'm getting a nice blend because I don't have anything on the bottom of my brush. The bottom of my brush acts as my blender, and then the top of my brush kind of distributes the paint. Now I'd like a little bit more red. I'm just going to clean my brush so there's no yellow on it. And I'm going to do that one more time here. So I do want just a hint of red up there, a little bit more red. We're going to be painting cacti today, a nice cactus painting. So again, we have the bottom of our brush acting as that blender. I'm going to pull it up. And I might even want to add just a little bit of purple in there, but let's do some clouds first. So what I'm going to do is just use my detail brush to pull through some streaks in my sky. And I think I will use a little bit of white, and I'm going to mix it with a little bit of yellow here. So we just have kind of a yellowy white mix. And this will act as our brighter clouds. And I'm going to drag a few clouds through. I'm going to soften these as I go, so I don't want them to be quite this aggressive. So now I'm just going to kind of clean my brush a little bit. I'm just going to wipe it on the table. There, I'll add a bit of water, add a little bit of yellow here, and I'm just going to kind of soften some of these. There we go. So I'm just kind of blending them into the background just a little bit using a clean brush. There we go. Just a nice soft blend. And then clouds sometimes have a little bit of a shadow, so let's go ahead and drop in some red too, just to give it that shadowy feel. A little aggressive here, so I'll blend it with some yellow. Kind of going back and forth with my colors here, basically just adding stripes to the sky and then trying to soften them a bit. There we go. You can see I'm always kind of cleaning my brush off on my desk. This particular paint is very easy to get off, so I'm not too worried about it staining my desk. It just scrapes off with a palette knife or something. Pretty easy. All right. And as we get up here, I want to have a little less yellow, but I think I still want to pull in a little bit of white. So I'm just going to have a really diluted white. This is a wash white, and I'm just going to add a little bit in there. Again, I'm going to deepen it with a little bit of red, and then I think I'm going to throw just a hint of purple in as well. Just a little bit. My streaks aren't spanning the entire canvas, and I'm doing that on purpose because I don't want to create any division lines. So I kind of want to stagger my clouds a little bit just for composition reasons. Drop a little bit of that kind of purpley red into here as well. Maybe I'll add a bit of the white. I don't want to mix my white and my yellow. I want to be very careful to leave those colors separate because they would make brown. I don't really want brown. Drag a little bit of that white up there too. So we have kind of a softer looking sky. If you want to really soften it, you can take a very clean paintbrush and just lightly go over everything. And that should give you a little bit of a softer sky. Oops, don't do that though. There we go. So I'm just going to kind of take it here. I'm going to start at the bottom. And I'm just going to go like this. And that should, if you have any kind of really hard edges, it should give you a little bit of a softness there. There we go. So I have a nice little cloudy sky. Now what I'm going to do is use the same brush, and I'm going to pick up some black and just tap it along the bottom because I want to have a little bit of texture to my grass. We're not in a desert here. We have some some kind of like, you know, that deserty grass, really dry grass, tall grass going on here. So just lightly doing a tap. And then using that little detail brush, I can add in my cactus. Now I'm gonna do some ones that are closer to us. Those are gonna be larger and thicker. And then as we go back, I'm gonna add some that are a little bit further back. And those need to be lower on the horizon because of perspective. Just zooming in a bit more here. There we go. Hopefully my camera stays focused on me. So I'm gonna add in my biggest one here. So I'll start with the center. These are just your kind of stereotypical looking cactuses. Now you can actually see a little bit of my paint bled out the edges there. So that's because that wood was untreated, a little porous. So I'm gonna have a little bit of messiness there, but that's just the nature of the wood. There's one little arm, and what I might do is add a little arm down here to try to camouflage that. So down here I had a little bit of mess, so what am I gonna do? I'm just gonna paint over it. Try to use it. I'm gonna do the same thing up here. If your paint is more watered down, you're more likely to get that bleed. So what I might have done there is just added a bit too much water. And now I'm gonna do a couple of arms. You don't want your arms to line up exactly with each other because it'll make your cactus feel more like a pitchfork. So try to stagger everything a little bit. Let's see, I'm just gonna take some paint off my brush. I'll do another kind of medium one here. I'm trying to stagger the height so that it feels organic. This one's gonna come down nice and low there. And then I'm just gonna have some little lines in the background. Now these can be cactuses, but maybe they're so far away that you wouldn't actually see the shape. Maybe I'll do like a little hint of an arm here. There we go. But I don't wanna go too aggressive with these. Just a little cactus in the background. My brush is starting to lose its tip. That happens a lot. You leave your brush in water. Even a brush this size, if you leave it in there for even a couple minutes, you can lose your tip. So be very careful not to do that. So I must have done that at some point. There we go. I have my nice little cactus in here. I feel like this guy needs one more cactus arm, so I'm gonna add one more up here. There we go. I'm just gonna turn it around carefully so that I don't flip it. And we have our cactus. You know, I'm gonna make this guy just a bit taller. Just a little bit taller. We'll see in a second if that was a mistake. I just feel like it felt a bit empty up there. And because I made that guy taller, I'm gonna go ahead and extend this arm a bit. Yeah, I think that actually looks quite nice. So there's our little mini painting. And you can see it compared to my pencil sharpener, how small it is. And then I'll grab a little ruler here and I can show you how big it is as well with that ruler. So we're looking at, yeah, 3/4 of an inch big, almost the size of my thumbnail, just a little bit bigger. Make them for my daughter for her dollhouse. She loves them. She gets very excited about my little mini paintings, so I like to do them for her. Hope you guys enjoyed this little tutorial. Have an awesome day. Happy painting. Bye.